through you now. How much of the one divine spirit are you willing to allow in you, as you, through you now? How much of the one divine spirit are you willing to allow in you, as you, through you now? And so let's take a moment, if you're willing, to imagine the most beautiful and magnificent rainbow, with all the colors that you choose to have included in the rainbow. Each color represents a healing quality, divine health, radiant abundance, joy, grace, magnificence, peace, unconditional love. Other spiritual qualities that come to your mind: oneness, omnipresence, benevolence, intelligence, source, energy, vitality. And see if you're willing to allow these colors of the rainbow to magnify through your energy, through your energetic. If it helps, just be open to that for whatever healing is most needed to reach you with ease and with grace, with no delay. Removing any blocks or obstacles in the unconscious, subconscious. Anything from the past that is left unhealed or unforgiven. We'll call it a rainbow alignment. A spiritual rainbow alignment. Take a moment to allow all the magnificent colors representing all the incredible healings that are possible and the ones that are just created for you right now to occur. You do not even need to label it. Our role is only to allow it for what is for your highest and best good and proclaim that for yourself. I allow for everything and anything for my highest and best good to heal me right here and right now. Open and receptive to receive. Transforming any old fears or doubts or worries or sense of dread or depression or sense of lack or limitation, any fear, to be transformed, to be released, to be let go, to be vanquished back to the void. All lower frequencies and vibrations vanquished, eliminated, back to the void. See them go through the soles of your feet. The rainbow energy comes through the top, the crown chakra, and anything that doesn't serve eliminates back through the soles of your feet to Gaia Mother Earth to recycle, refresh, restore, repurpose. See crystal clear healing light. Radiate and eradicate anything that doesn't match it. Inviting you to breathe that all in. And extra eliminations out for anything and everything that no longer serves. Again, we breathe in the magnificent rainbow colors and rainbow light of divine, sacred, healing energies. Allowing it to infuse every organ, action, function, cell, and fiber of our being for our greatest and highest purpose, our greatest and highest good. And important to release and allow to let go anything that no longer serves, just through the soles of the feet. Through the exhales now, let's take 3 exhales out in a row. Release with gratitude anything that remains through the soles of the feet to Gaia Mother Earth. And when you're complete with that, just wipe the feet against Gaia Mother Earth. Important to close off that portal, just let it go. And inviting you to take 3 exhales out again for any remnants. And if you want to make an utterance or an ah at the end, or all 3, do that. Just let anything and everything go. Ah. Did you completely release? Be sure to do that. And just allow for all the good, all the magnificent colors of the healing, energetic, and the rainbow to keep working in, through, and as your very life. And with this next breath, I'm inviting you to come back to the body temple more fully and completely. We breathe in gratitude, just gratitude for this time of sacred stillness and remembering. And gratitude with your exhalations. More gratitude with the inhalation. And even more gratitude with the exhalation. So when you're ready, just tap the toes to the ground. See if you could tap the fingertips together, bringing our awareness fully back to the physical. And in your own time, gently allow the outer eyelids to open as we become aware of the temperature in the sanctuary and one another. I'm grateful for the healing space that's been created so lovingly, so that anyone who enters the sanctuary can receive a blessing, a healing, a transformation, an insight. And this concludes the meditation portion of today's service. To each of you, I am so deeply grateful and thankful. Namaste.
Thank you, Brother Mark. Most lovely. I always try to move you easily and almost without motion from that place of metaphysical bliss we find in meditation, back into the physical room. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. Come together, we come together, come together in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the love in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet now, See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We all love, we all one big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We all love, we all one big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Yes, your soul.
My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. No. You tell this thing to be quiet.
You got to come up
Oh,
with the
it's
rap.
a piano, sorry.
Give me a
where is
beat.
that? It's over here. I just hit too many things, you know.
Thank you, Brother Mark. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to our spiritual center in Redlands. Thank you to everyone joining us live on our beautiful sanctuary and to those who follow us on Facebook Live and watch remotely on YouTube. My name is Rick, and I'm really glad to be here and see everybody here this morning. It always makes my week a lot easier. And it's truly an honor and privilege to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service. We are a New Thought spiritual community and all-inclusive to all the spiritual truths from all the world's religions, traditions, and spiritual paths. We focus on the philosophy of science of mind, which was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, who developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into the world. We honor all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are, on your journey of faith, you are always welcomed here. If you are with us for the first time, please stand and raise your hand and allow us to greet you properly. Welcome. We are delighted to have you all with us today. A gentle reminder to please silence your cell phones and place them safely away so you may participate more fully. Thank you.
I don't know about you. If I was someplace for the first time and I wasn't too sure about it, I don't know if I'd stand up. But you're welcome regardless. And that's the point. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. So get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, so get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, my soul.
So I invite you to turn within. Thank you, Al. I invite everybody to turn within. We breathe in the divine, sacred, and holy breath. And with our exhale, we release and surrender all that it took to be here in this present moment. Anything that may be on our to-do list for later in the day, just let that go, put them on pause. And again, we breathe in the divine, sacred, and holy breath. And with our exhale, we release all that does not match all that is divine. Just let it go. Again, we take in the divine, sacred, and holy breath. And release anything that does not match all that is sacred, just letting it go. Again, we breathe in that divine, sacred, and holy breath. And release all that does not match, all that is holy. And as we return to our normal breathing pattern, we're reminded that this divine, sacred, and holy spirit, call it God, call it whatever you wish to call it, it's here and now in this place, it's in this space, it's in me, it's in you. And it is from this place of unification and oneness that I speak a word of blessing for today's service, knowing that it continues to unfold with holy boldness, that it continues to allow for a fertile soil for all healings to take place right here, right now, whether they be in the physical and the mental and the spiritual and the emotional beings, whether they be in the unconscious, subconscious, known or unknown places of consciousness. By our permission, by our willingness to allow this divinity to have its full sway in, through, and as us, we open a portal to release all lower frequencies and vibrations. Just let them go with your breathing now. 3 exhales out. Ah. Ah. Never again to surface and reappear. Only that which is the highest. Only that which is the most magnificent. Only that which is meant for your highest and best and greatest yet to be. That is the energy that we're willing to take in, to allow to transform, to rearrange, to make crooked pathways straight. Allow for healing, transformation, insight, wisdom, guidance, intuition to be at its peak. Knowing only that which is for you, for your highest and best good, can reach you. That's what I'm going to proclaim right here and right now. Anything else cannot reach you, for it is not yours to be bothered with. A magnet for your highest and greatest and boldest life. I invite you to consider magnetizing your strip in this way. Only that which is for your highest and best good, right here, right now, on your soul's journey. That is what is permitted by your willingness to permit it to reach you with ease and with grace, with a sense of play, with a sense of joy, with a sense of surrender. And so as we always do, we pray about peace. Let's take peace, must start within ourselves. Let's try to find that for within ourselves. Peace with a capital P, the peace that passes human understanding. We call it forth now within our family units, both birth families and then our tribal units that are created as families to support us, sustain us, maintain us, uplift us. Lend us a hand when we're down. We now let this peace pervade through our city. See it go through the roof of the sanctuary space as a beacon of light to join all other spiritual houses of worship, including meditation centers, wherever they may be. Whatever practices matters not, for there's only one spirit, one power, one omnipresence that's operating fully everywhere. We see this peace now pass throughout the state, the mountains, the seas, even the galaxies. See the peace now pass all the oceans into all the areas in struggle, conflict, and strife. Think of how many areas right now are in need and ready to receive our peace. Let's place peace shields in these places now. Just see billions and billions of units of energy of peace transform all lower frequencies and vibrations to all those areas in struggle and conflict and strife. Areas still in famine right now. In 2024, supplies, see supplies, humanitarian aid reach those places now with ease and with grace. See the minds of world leaders change toward peace, affirming peace now. Not necessary to explain why the change in the policy. No need to explain. Spiritual truths do not need to be explained. We call forth peace with a capital P. See peace for all sentient beings on the planet. Allow for blessings to happen in our very lives. Just say your own name out loud in the sanctuary space, Brother Mark. Say the names of all those who have called our prayer ministries. Say all those who you have on your heart for prayer this day. Just speak the name out loud. Marika, Rosemary, David, W. Audrey, our board. Let the universe hear the names of those we hold in the highest prayers. Know that Spirit never misses a prayer request. Know that it is Spirit that answers affirmatively, yes, yes, you are my beloved, in who I am well pleased. Yes. And affirm for yourself, if you're willing, you can say it out loud so you can hear it. I am the beloved. I am the beloved, in whom Spirit is well pleased. In whom Spirit is well pleased. I am the beloved in whom Spirit is well pleased. So I just invite you to breathe in gratitude with me, gratitude for this time of spiritual community, grateful for this continuation of this center and this service, that it uplifts any that are within the sound of our voice, the sound of Al, the magnificent musician. What a blessing it is to have Gilman here. What a blessing it is to have Al Yankee here. Can you feel the music? Allow it to transform and heal and open you up to receive your greatest yet to be. Allow for all those blessings for your greatest and highest good. All that Spirit ever awaits is your willingness to say yes. Have its full sway in, through, and as my very life, right here and right now. I feel like there's more to say, but let's just create a space in Spirit, in our spirits, for the divine to have its full sway even more fully in, through, and as our very life. It doesn't need to be filled by us. And with this open invitation to Spirit, I affirm all words spoken to the universal law, which only knows to reciprocate with a yes. And I await that I expect the good to be made so by my proclamation and by my declaration. In holy boldness, I let it be. And invite you to say together with me, and so it is. All right. Thank you, everybody. So I'd like to invite Rick up. He's going to do our reading for today.
The Mountain by Laura Dean Edwards. If the mountain seems too big today, then climb a hill instead. If the morning brings you sadness, it's okay to stay in bed. If the day ahead feels heavy and your plans feel like a curse, there's no shame in rearranging. Don't make yourself feel worse. If a shower stings like needles, a bath feels like you'll drown. If you haven't washed your hair for days, don't throw away your crown. A day is not a lifetime. A rest is not a defeat. Don't think of it as a failure, just a quiet, kind retreat. It's okay to take a moment from an anxious, fractured mind. The world will not stop turning while you get realigned. The mountain will still be there when you want to try again. You can climb it in your own time. Just love yourself till then. Thank you.
Can I go back to bed then? Yeah. start of something new. I think it's coming into view. Don't ask me how, but I can see clearly now. Leaving my footprints in the sand, too soon to tell where I may land. Now I know why, and I can tell anyhow. I can hear it. Destiny is calling me to give in to the rhythm. Let it carry me away. Dance with the audacity. Find triumph in the tragedy. On my quest for answers, I won't rest until I say, now that hope is intervening. There is music in the meaning. Maybe you think there's something more, like you have seen it all before. You've lost the thrill. What happened to your will? Whether it's something to achieve or maybe something to believe in, all you need's a little respite from your suffering. Can you hear it? Destiny is calling you to give in to the rhythm. Let it carry you away. Dance with the audacity, finding triumph in the tragedy. Now that hope is intervening, there is music in the meaning. Hope is intervening. There is music in the meaning. Can you hear it? Destiny is calling you to give in to the rhythm. Let it carry you away. Dance to the audacity, finding triumph in the tragedy. On this quest for answers, do not rest until you say, now that hope is intervening. There is music in the meaning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Yankee. Wow, thank you so much. That was magnificent. So good morning, everybody. My name's Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at Practitioner Emeritus with 20 or more years of service. That's all that means. So I want to thank you and welcome you. Appreciate you guys. So do you know the talk title today? Holy Boldness, and we're going to talk about it. And before we do that, I want to invite Ed up if he's willing. Are you willing to just pay a quick tribute to your dad? Father's Day, I believe, is next Sunday. The reason that Pedro Maciel Torres' photo is up here with the flag that was presented at his memorial, and he was one, you tell.
So, my dad was in World War II. He was a private first class, and on the 50th anniversary of Normandy, I decided to take him to Normandy, because he never talked about the war very much. But I remember when I was little, around 6 years old, I used to pick little pieces of metal off of his skin and his head, and I never knew what that was until he told me when we were standing on the beach of Normandy. He was a third wave. And that cliff was very high, and they had to climb it, as we all know. And he told me that, 10 would go up and 10 feet and they'd get shot, and another group would go another 10 feet until they got to the top. So thank God for the men and women who were fearless and only focusing on one thing, and that was to get rid of evil in our world at that time. But he served in 13 campaigns, which I never knew what that meant until I received all the little medals and ribbons of his service. And he was a double Purple Heart, which means that, I never knew what my dad did. So in Normandy, he started opening up, and he started explaining his group. He was the 9th Division, which the 9th Division went everywhere. They fought in every campaign that there was. And his team would go behind enemy lines and set up communication. So, of course, as you know, the first people going in that ground hit them landmines. So, after being the third wave and climbing that cliff and then fighting in all these campaigns, he made it home because I'm here. And it was just amazing to realize that my father did something so magnificent as a little part of this chain, but meant a lot. And those little pieces of metal were all the shrapnel. When his team would get and hit a landmine, not very many survived, but he was one of them survived. They would get metal that was put in their body from all the landmines that they hit, but they kept on going and going and going. So I'm very proud to have witnessed that moment with my father on that beach, in those gun turrets, seeing what they were up against. And I was very proud as we walked in the streets of the 50th anniversary, and people would come up and give him roses or carnations and give him a kiss and say thank you. And one thing I do remember is when the family that we were staying with, every morning they would make like a 7-foot table of food, and we were the only ones staying at their little house. It was like a little castle that went back 4 or 5 generations. But it was beautiful to see the love and appreciation. And, my dad never talked much about the war until that time when I had a chance to hear what he had to say. We found some of his buddies on the crosses of those that did not make it. He found their names, and we were able to say a prayer in the 9,000 that didn't make it. But it was just amazing to see, 5'2", man who did his part in our world to eliminate that tragic darkness. And so I did not know Mark was going to bring this, but you could see when him and his brother who went into service and all his little ribbons of all the campaigns that he fought. But, I appreciate all of you for allowing me to share this moment. And I appreciate being able to share that time with my father on the 50th anniversary.
Thank you, Ed. So one of the reasons that I was moved to bring this is you probably saw a lot on the news this last week, right? June 6, 1944. Was this the 80th? Is this the 80th? 80th. So imagine there's only a couple hundred people still alive, right? I think one of the youngest ones was in the late 90s, right? And up to 107 years old, I think, were there. And so I think a 100-year-old got married over there. I don't know if you see that in the news. I think really on this trip. So this idea of holy boldness, I thought it fit right in because there was a little news clip today with Eisenhower there an hour before the parachute units went. And he said something interesting. He said that the troops were trying to reassure him that they would be okay. And he was there to reassure them. And imagine the holy boldness to send 2 million troops from all over the world to try to stop the Nazi invasion of Europe and France. Isn't that amazing? And so this was probably one of the last large celebrations that we'll see. And so and thank you for allowing me to bring this part of Ed's family here, because the next generations forget. And it's going to be less and less. Only a couple hundred people still survive. There was, in one of the stories I saw, and I did not know this, I think they called it a ghost unit or something to that effect, where they would just play the sounds of tanks. And it was enough to scare off some of the opposition. Imagine how brilliant that was. They just played the sounds of tanks coming, that the USA is here, right? And it was enough to deter and defer some of the enemy. I thought that was brilliant. There was only one survivor of one of those units that was still there. So thank you for allowing us to share that story today. I think it's part of the topic too, this idea of holy boldness. Like, a lot of the people came back, and Ed said to you, right, my dad never talked about it. Think of, this is how the generations of many of the people who served were trained. Now, at least there's a label, right? If we call it PTSD or other things that are happening, then that's what they did. They just came back. And, we still have issues, right? With veterans, there's still issues with services. There's still issues. No one's going to deny that. But the reason that I want to put it in, as part of this idea of holy boldness, is that consciousness evolves. So now people are more willing to talk about depression. They're more willing to talk about mental health. They're more willing to talk about things that before people were raised and trained not to discuss. And so part of our life story to be wholly bold is to be authentically true. And I just want to put that out there today as the message. And if anybody needs to borrow a crown, we have your crown as a reminder here. Remember? You're welcome to borrow this if you need to take it to work. Right? You can borrow it while you're playing. If you're not, like, sometimes we do have to get ourselves out of bed and get showered and get dressed and we can do it. Right? Sometimes we want to hide. And I think that's bold too, to give permission to self-care. That's bold. I got a text, could I take a shift today? And I'm like, I'm at church today. Thanks for asking. I don't even think I could type thanks for asking. I'm thinking it, but I didn't text it. So sometimes we are wholly bold every day because we're showing up. We have a purpose. So imagine there's a purpose to why Pedro Maciel Torres survived. I'm not saying there's a purpose to why others did not. And there's a purpose though. There's a life's mission. So one of the things I want to do, as I always do, is ask you, when I say holy boldness, what are some of the things that come to your mind? Just brief words or sentences, and I'll repeat them in the microphone. Courage, for sure. To be wholly bold, definitely you have to have courage. What else? Audaciousness. Commitment. Belief. Yeah, and where does the belief come from? Knowingness. You can build belief as well, right? With faith and with practice. Condition the belief? Yeah, it's a condition. So you can build faith by doing practices like meditation, by journaling, by taking workshops, classes, by participating in uplifting spiritual services. From Alexa, to be assertive or exercise holy boldness, it is right, she said this, it is right in the sight of God. I'm like, Alexa, mic drop from Alexa. Having courage and faith even in the face of fear and uncertainty, in encouraging self-expression and celebrating individuality. I thought that was really beautiful. So Brene Brown in The Gifts of Imperfection says the root of the word courage is cor, C-O-R, the Latin word for heart. Courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I'll say it again. The root of the word courage is C-O-R, the Latin word for heart. Courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. From Michael Beckwith, one of my main spiritual mentor and teacher from 1996 to 2000 and after at Agape. Having the courage to come face to face with ourselves is the portal through which we can view the pristine features of our original face, which include the qualities of unconditional love, compassion, peace, joy, creativity, and contentment of being. From Jim Webb, a U.S. Senator from Missouri, before all else, each of us must take a fundamental risk to be our true selves. From Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. If you embrace the present and become one with it, you will experience a fire, a sparkle of ecstasy throbbing in every living sentient being. As you experience this exaltation of spirit in everything that is alive, as you become intimate with it, joy will be born within you. From St. Augustine, God provides the wind, but man must raise the sails. So there's a couple brief stories one's about a preacher, one's about a monk. Someone asked John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, how he was able to attract such large crowds with his preaching. And Wesley responded, "I set myself on fire and people come to watch me burn." Isn't that awesome? And a monk, Abba Lot, came to Abba Lot was the name of the monk that went to Abba Joseph and said, "Father, according as I am able, I keep my prayer, meditation, my fast long, and contemplative silence. I strive to cleanse my heart of thoughts. What more should I do?" And the elder rose up in reply and stretched his hands to heaven, and his fingers became like 10 lamps of fire. He said, "Why not become fire?" I really like that one. Yeah, fire and co-creation. There's a metaphor, the power of focusing. This is from Rick Warren, which I don't normally quote here, The Purpose-Driven Life, but we did have that book and we studied it as part of the board a few years back. Just take this in. The power of focusing can be seen in light. Diffused light has little power or impact, but you can concentrate its energy by focusing it. With a magnifying glass, the rays of the sun can be focused to set grass or paper on fire. When light is focused even more as a laser beam, it can cut through steel. There's nothing quite as potent as a focused life, one lived on purpose. The men and women who have made the greatest difference in history were the most focused. If you want your life to have impact, focus it. Stop dabbling. Stop trying to do it all. Do less. Drive away even good activities and do only that which matters most. Never confuse activity with productivity. And I kind of like that. And then this morning, as I always do, I tell you as I'm waking up, I ask for final guidance. I remember the talk title sometimes, Holy Boldness. And there was a little bit of a movement in the room. And we have a tribute still in our room with the urn of Edna, Ed's sister. And it's in the master bedroom still, and with photos. And I could swear I heard something around there, and even something walk out the door. And then I heard the dog licking, and I thought, well, I tried to say, maybe it's just the dog, but I don't think so. Because what I got was an image and a message. It said, "Tell them they're lightning bolts." You're welcome. And then I literally saw 2 lightning bolts, and it wasn't big ones, but it just said, "Tell them they're lightning bolts." You're welcome. Do you feel like you could be a lightning bolt? Yes. So I am a spiritual lightning bolt. Are you? Yes. I mean, You know, we are, because we talked about it many times, that we think we're what we see in the mirror, but we're energy beings. It's such an incredible opportunity to see what you are. You're like the part of the stars, you're a cosmos, it is kind of like interesting that the rainbow came up today in meditation too. That was interesting and unusual. If you know that I've done many meditations, never ever did that ever come through my mouth. It's also Pride Month, but I just put that in together later, because I didn't think of that as the reason to bring it in. It is Pride Month. And you know what? It is also time to start telling the truth about our stories. Holy boldness means when people serve, they're coming back now and they can seek help without shame more and more. Right? Before it was just suck it up. You have a job, you don't have a job. You're homeless, you're not homeless, right? You're going to get the help or not get the help. You're going to get the surgeries and treatment required or not. Suck it up. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about his dad probably next week on Father's Day, because he raised, was it 5 kids? 5 kids on his own. In fact, the court system didn't think he should have all the kids because he was a dude. So he had to earn his way to get all his kids back. And so that's a Father's Day story for next week, part of what we'll talk about. So to live and holy boldness makes me think, if I have relatives and they're not out and proud in Pride Month, shouldn't by my generation we be willing to be accepted in our family units? Maybe, and maybe not. It's not all the way there. Just like in veteran services, it's not all the way there. So this idea of being wholly bold is to give the gift of being your spiritual and authentic self to yourself. It's why sometimes we see people singing or dancing or shaking tambourines or whatever. Let loose. Let loose. It's unapologetic. It's also an incredible blessing to all the other people in your energy field. Yesterday, I was at a long work shift, and it was 3 days in a row. And I met the most beautiful people. A guy named Vincenzo, and I'm trying to think of the girl's name. It was like Goreshka or something. I started singing like a rap, and we were chatting, and I mean, it was awesome. And then he was all the way far away in the store, and then just yelled. He yelled at me as he was leaving. They were still having fun and enjoy. So he's walking around as a blessing. And he totally blessed my section. Like that was I would go back there today if I knew they were going to be there. I said, you better walk away because I'm just going to follow you. Like the Pied. He was like I want to follow him like the Pied Piper. So he's living holy boldness because he's just a blessing wherever he goes. And then some people are not for that. So we remember that wherever we go, we're going to attract or repel, right? It's just natural. So we can bless and release those who don't want to be in our presence. That's okay. It's not for them. So and it doesn't mean we're lesser. And it doesn't mean we have to alter ourselves to be unrecognizable so that we can make someone else feel comfortable. And that still happens. I don't want to tell all the stories about it, but think about it. And I want to encourage you, all who are within the sound of my voice, to think about those stories. You have them. You have them in your workplace. You have them in your family. You have them in your relationships. You have them in your spiritual community. There's every single Jerry Springer episode. And the ones that are yet to be produced and created. Right? All right, it's time to almost close. Richard Rohr. When most people say we want justice, they normally mean that bad deeds should be punished or that they want vengeance. But Jesus says that's simply not the case with God. God's justice is total, steadfast love. Total, unconditional giving of love. From L.R. Nost, this is a social justice activist. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. I think it's Japan, they mend it with gold, right? If it's a piece of porcelain, it's actually gold that can mend the cracks in gold. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. Does it? Yes. Are you willing to be the lightning bolt? Yes. Okay. So this is from Ram Dass, and don't let it upset some of the people in the room. I notice how many angry people there are at peace rallies. Social action arouses righteousness, but righteous anger can close your heart. If I want to be free more than I want to be right, I have to let go of righteousness. For social action to be done with love, the spiritual work has to come first. From Sharon Seyfarth Garner, Heal Our Way Forward. After the election, some will rejoice. Let them not gloat. After the election, some will grieve. Let them not despair. Heal our way forward. Soften our hardened hearts. Inspire us to be just, kind, and humble. May we have the eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to hope. And those quotes came a little bit from Pride Month and some things like that. So, but it's part of being, right? Holy boldness. And so what you're called to do is yours to do. Some people volunteer with the Women's Cold Weather Shelter. That's your role to do. If it's in your heart to do it, do it. And we set our energy and intention, and it does have a fire. It was interesting just how many quotes, there's many more which I didn't read, about fire. Isn't that interesting? And about the idea that we're light and that we can, that with our intention, we can focus, and that's how we create. That's the whole thing of our 5 steps of affirmative prayer. Right? We're first recognizing that Spirit is everywhere present. It's right where I am and you are. That's the unification. And the realization, all the things that Spirit is, and we did them all in today's meditation, they're here and now. They're in all the rainbows, all the colors, all the goodness. It's yours to be willing to receive it for you right here, right now. And then just with a grateful heart, allow it to be. And then declaration to the law of life that it's so, because you're the declarer of it. It's like you're unreading a scroll in your holy boldness and saying, this shall be so. This child was born this day at 7 pounds and 3 ounces to be the light of the world, to be a lightning bolt. You're welcome. And literally showed me 2 kind of small lightning bolts. And the thing is, just like when I speak from here before and I say we can also think of ourselves as a wave, some just kind of dribble along the shore, but they're still a wave, right? They get sucked back to the oneness of the ocean, if the ocean spirit, and a metaphor that we're each individualized incarnations or waves. And some are tsunamis that take out whole cities, hotels, all the chairs, they climb to the mountain. And we know those people because they walk in a space or a room, you can kind of feel them. And some of us go toward them, and some of us go, I may go toward Vincenzo, and some may go a little bit away. Like some may now don't even want to make eye contact because we're just too much in our holy boldness. Right? And some come up, and some come up meekly. Some are like a few back, and then they think about whether or not they can come up and be part of our holy boldness. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So let's see. This is from Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 12:13. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some of us are Jews, some are Gentiles, some are slaves, and some are free. But we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit. So when we speak of oneness here, we don't tell you what to believe. We don't label it. We ask you to find what you believe. If you believe in nothing, that is okay too. We have had many atheists and people go through our workshops and classes. We don't tell you what to do. We don't make you declare anything you don't want to declare. In fact, I always say in an affirmation, I want you to believe it and make it so before you even speak it or say it. For this, I want you to know, did somebody say yes? Let's all say yes. Yes. Okay, so I don't know if you knew this, but I think it's worth saying out loud. There's a captain named Teresa Claiborne who had an incredible career. In 1982, Claiborne became the first black woman to fly in the U.S. Air Force, and she was flying ever since. And after 43 years as a military and then a commercial pilot, just retired from United Airlines, and the last flight was filled with family and friends and capped off by a water cannon salute. That's a mark of respect that sees 2 fire engines use their water cannons to create a huge arc over the plane. Isn't that cool? Louisa Dysgra, American author, says, once you're clear on what you want, amplify it. Turn up the volume. Give me a beat. Right? We can make the last part of this a rap, Al. We'll turn on your beat. Actually, we'll turn on your beat for the closing quote and see how it sounds. So this is from Mary Oliver. Imagine everything you can imagine, then keep going. Let's try that as an affirmation. I imagine everything that I can imagine that's for my highest and best good to appear right here and right now. And I shall keep going. Will you? Yes. You're welcome. So Amelia Earhart, this is a cool quote. There's more to life than being a passenger. So for everyone within the sound of my voice, there's a lot of passengers, right? It's amazing how many people will follow someone off the edge of a cliff. Right? We're watching it right now happen, right before our very eyes. Think about it. There's some people in politics that just had a picture on a boat with a woman that wasn't their wife, and they were eliminated from all politics. Think about it. Think about how consciousness has evolved, and think about it. Eric Butterworth, The Creative Life. The mind of the infant does not do things halfway. It's not possible that a plan will unfold in your mind without there being the knowledge of how it can be completed, the will and persistence to go forward with it, and the supportive thoughts with which to work toward the end result. To me, that was very, very rewarding to hear, because a lot of time from pulpits, and especially in science and mind-based centers, we always hear that nothing shall be put before us that we're not ready to handle, right? That we're well equipped. That spirit, the spirit that made us in its image and likeness, gave us everything, source, supplied, and maintained. Fully equipped. Do you believe it? Let's declare it together. I am fully equipped to live my highest and best good in all areas. Now. Do you receive that? You're welcome. So, does everybody know that hundreds of black athletes that were shut out of the Major League Baseball a century ago are now officially a part of it? The MLB announced that it has incorporated the statistics of more than 2,300 Negro League players from 1920 to 1948 in its records. The MLB said that it was correcting a long-time oversight by officially elevating the Negro Leagues to Major League status and including the stats in its history books. All of us who love baseball have long known that the Negro Leagues produce many of the game's finest players, innovations, and triumphs against the backdrop of injustice. That was according to a league office. Some of its dominant players included Satchel Paige, whom many subsequent greats deemed the best pitcher ever, and power hitter Josh Gibson, who was considered the greatest slugger in Negro baseball leagues. With the NBL now recognizing the records of black players, Paige, that's Satchel Paige, is now the MLB's all-time career leader in batting average, slugging percentage, and on-base plus slugging percentage. Gibson's .372 batting average surpasses Ty Cobb's .367. And this .178 slugging percentage overtakes Babe Ruth's .690. A fitting accomplishment for a man often called the Black Babe Ruth. An MLB spokesperson put the changes in perspective, saying the statistics are shorthand for stories, that the history is not a product but a process, and that the reasons for the very existence of the Negro Leagues are worthy of our study. From Scott Aubrey's spiritual passage, you can hold records just like the record holders in the Guinness Book of Records. There's someone in your life who you can love in a way that no one else can. You can bring a point of view, insights, and truth like no one else. You can be a record setter in the way you build or create something that brings light to the world. And before I close, I just want to speak a quick word about, I don't know if anybody's a tennis fan. Are you tennis fans? Everybody's like, not really. So anyway, check out the French Open had a commercial. And I think one of the major sponsors was the person in the oil painting. It was interesting. And also, if you watch who won on the women's side, singles, I want you to watch in an earlier round, Naomi Osaka play that person. See, Naomi Osaka is a person who was a number one and had gone for a while, very big proponent and advocate of mental health. That's holy boldness in athletics. And then came back, just like we're going to see Simone Biles. Can you imagine how much training goes in to try to be at another Olympics? And did you see, if you check out anything on Google, just Google Simone Biles, Google Naomi Osaka's match against Iga Swiatek. She outplayed Iga, and you could see all with probably the muscle memory in sports of like, I am number one, right? And then in sports, there comes a time where you just have to, it's just too good. So you look at Rafa Nadal, who probably won, I think, 10 or 13 French Open titles and lost in the first round because of who he played this year. It's a hard way to say goodbye to your sport. He said he may not be able to return, is now a dad, right? And it's interesting when the 35 or 36 or 37-year-olds are playing like the 19, 20, 22-year-olds, 27-year-olds, and they're all ready. They're all in their holy boldness, right? And so everything has to align. So just as an athlete has to be trained, I'm asking everyone in the sound of my voice, train yourself spiritually to be holy bold. Train yourself. Even though we're already lightning bolts, let's try to use it for good. Because you know what? We can use our words to curse. We can use our words to hate. We can use our words to allow for unforgiveness to wreak havoc within all the units where we participate. And then we can also take time to just reflect. We can take time for self-care. I want everybody within the sound of my voice to think of yourself as an athlete. You're a spiritual athlete. To be holy bold, we're in training. Every single day we're in training. We got up. We could stay in bed. We got up. We showered. You showered.
Yes, I did.
I showered. We're here. We have the requested outfits on. We're participating in life. But you see how there's a parallel where we allow yourself to be divinely and spiritually trained for whatever's for your highest and best good. Allow it. Allow all of it. Don't be in a rush. It's never too late. If a dude could get married in France at 100, at the 80th commemoration of a D-Day, we can do just about anything, right? Let's use that as a holy boldness and inspiration. So we're going to give me a beat, and we're going to do a closing reading by Talia Hunter, one of my favorite authors. You can find that person on Facebook. It's kind of fast. I like it, though. No, it's okay. I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself, even if your life has fallen apart. Even if things surrounding you have come crashing down, even if the foundations of your life have crumbled and fallen away. Okay, good. I promise, now I'm going to allow your eyes to close, and we're going to go into the spiritual and holy boldness of who we are. And I'm going to start all the way over again, let you take in every word. But I like that, because I was going to go even faster. I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself, even if your life has fallen apart. Even if the things surrounding you have come crashing down. Even if the foundations of your life have crumbled and fallen away. I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself, even if people have walked out of your life or have chosen to reject you. I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself, even if your greatest hopes and dreams have been dashed and shattered to pieces, and the future seems bleak and uncertain. And I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself, even if your life as you know it has fallen to shambles. Because your ability to create is far more powerful than life's ability to destroy you. Your ability to regrow is far greater than life's ability to damage you. And your ability to regenerate is far stronger than life's ability to break you. And you can take the rubbles and ruins of what remains in your life and use it to build a tower that is even bigger and more beautiful than before. And I promise that you can build a beautiful life for yourself. As while things will come tumbling down in your life, life can never keep you knocked down. And you can always rebuild And that is your greatest power. And if you want to affirm the last line with me, I can always rebuild from my highest and greatest yet to be. And that is my greatest power. And so it is. Thank you, guys. All right. It's time for the offering. It's our favorite time. So the usher's coming forth. It's our conscious time of giving. So we take our tithes and our gifts and our offerings. If you want to fill out a page so when you're not here that you can give even when you're not here, we do have a form. It looks like this. And the lady who's helping with the ushering today is our beautiful office person, Eileen. Give Eileen a hand. She's glad to take your moolah. Happy to be of service. And so we take our tithes and our gifts and offerings, we bless them. We know that the same portal from which we give is the same portal from which we receive. So we also want to make that a bigger and bolder place, right? We're building our spiritual muscle every day in every way. So from the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it perfectly is.
Thank you for giving. Thank you for receiving. And thank you for being who you are. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for believing. And thank you for being who you are. The universe is flowing with love that's ever growing. And you are a vessel of that love. So thank you for caring. Bless you for your sharing. And thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being who.
So I invite the congregation to outstretch our hands toward the offerings received. You know what's interesting, and know this, even for a small center, they come in all week long. Isn't that awesome? So click on donate now if you're watching remotely. Let us know from where you're watching and why you're watching, and give what you can. So we bless them. We know that these tithes and collections received are from the heart. Always give from the heart with no agenda. Know that your blessings, your giving is going to be magnified in amazing and unexpected ways. Just receive that. Do you declare it and receive it? Just say, I do. With your lightning bolts. And so it is. All right. And now we have Rick, who's going to do our announcements. Also, stay for food after. I see a bunch of pizzas, I see some donuts, and I see a healthy salad that I made. And I see some shrimp that I brought. And I see some incredible tortellonis or something that I brought. So it's going to be an amazing feast after. Love you guys.
Love you, Mark.
Wow. Thank you, Mark. See Holly B to volunteer at the Saturday morning market days in downtown Redlands. On Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7:30 to 8, join the book club on Zoom hosted by Holly. Thank you. We love having you. Plan to buy and help set up and sell at our upcoming rummage sale this coming Saturday, June 15th. Arrive early to set up by 7:30 a.m. and let people know to come by and support our center till 2 p.m. on the lawn in front and in the parking lot. Join us for potluck, snacks, and fellowship time right after service. Thank you so much for your presence, both in person and those who follow and watch online via FB Live and our YouTube channel. Thank you.
We'll rise up for the closing song, everybody.
I used to think I'd always be alone, separate, misunderstood. I spent my days in quiet desperation, but on the outside, things looked good. Then I discovered the error of my thinking, the lie at the base of all my fears. So simple that it turned my world around. Oh, why? Why did it take so many years? Now I am walking with my eyes wide open, knowing with my mind wide open, I am loving. You take it. Wide open. There is no separation, no matter what it looks like. No separation, no matter what they say. No separation except what I imagine. And I imagine separation's gone away. Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. Now sing it like you mean it. Wide open, wide open, wide open.
Thank you, Al Yankee. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Al Yankee. Thank you. And there is a board meeting today.